Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katy.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State, powered by Home Right Windows and Doors in Waynesboro, the right choice. Winner of the 2024 Best of the Tri-State Award.
Our first guest today, we have Arthur Morey, who is the president of an organization called I'm OK Vets. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your story and your organization with us today. Let's start with I'm OK Vets might be an organization that people aren't familiar with. Walk us through what it is.
Well, most people probably aren't, and I want to thank you guys for having me today.
Sure.
I'm OK Vets is a peer support group for people with PTSD, mostly veterans and stuff like that. We have a private Facebook page. It's called I'm OK Vets. You just answer a few questions so we feel comfortable talking about issues we may be having or thoughts we may be having or stuff like that. So civilians don't think we're weird. So,
Gotcha.
And that happens when you start talking to the normal public.
How many members do you have so far?
There's probably 40.
Okay.
Maybe a few more.
And what's the geographic region?
It's mostly, we have one guy from Frederick County, and he drives up. We have a meeting in Chambersburg every so often. Kind of slacked off on the meetings lately because we weren't getting much attendance. Mm-hmm. So veterans have a hard time admitting when we have a problem. Mm. That's hence the name I'm OK Vets. Because if you ask a veteran, hey, how you doing?
I'm okay.
I'm okay. Mm. Even if we're not. We could be struggling with 900 things. I tell my wife the same thing all the time. She asks me how I'm doing. I'm like, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm okay.
How do you find the vets that might need your support?
We reach out to the community a lot. Our community support has been amazing in this area. Anything to do with veterans, people want to help. Mm-hmm. So the community is great when we do that kind of stuff. We work with the VSO a little bit up in Franklin Farm Lane. Just reaching out to veterans clubs and stuff like that, and just being out in public. I mean, we try to do things where we're out and people can see us, and we get a lot of strange looks, like I'm OK Vets. But if you have a problem, you know what we're.
Well, Katy gets strange looks all the time, so you're a good company.
It makes a lot of sense. I definitely have heard that before.
Right.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm okay. I'm fine.
Yeah.
My next question that I had for you before we talk about Victory House is, how did this come to be? Is this an organization you founded?
Yes, I founded it. I'm a very religious man, and it was laid on my heart that I should reach out to other vets that are having problems, because people help. It took me over 25 years to admit I had a problem.
Wow. I
got out of service in '93, so I didn't admit I had a problem until I was late 30s, early 40s, and I thought the rest of the world was messed up. It wasn't me. Everybody else had a problem. So yeah, it takes, and it's a big trust factor to open up about PTSD. If you're still in the military or if you're out, it's not socially acceptable, or we don't feel like it's your duty to carry our load. We carry our own load. Mm-hmm. And if we share with you, that means we trust you, that you're not going to take what we tell you and turn it into something to use against us.
I know anyone who serves our country, that's something that is so near and dear to me and Tiny's heart. It's this, you're really pulling at my heartstrings right now, because I just have so much admiration for our military. And so I love that there is an organization like this that exists. And I'm sure that it's something that people don't want to talk about or admit, and that's really difficult. So I'm happy to hear 40 members. That sounds like a good number.
Well, considering Franklin County is the third highest rated veteran community in the state of Pennsylvania.
Now define what that means, though. Third highest rated. You mean population-wise,
yes,
or just in care for veterans?
No, population-wise.
Gotcha, okay.
Well, I don't know the exact number, but last I checked, we were number 3 in the whole state of veterans.
Okay.
Wow.
I think there's 30. Don't quote me on this, but I think it's over 3,000 veterans live in Franklin County.
Okay.
So there's quite a number of us. Not everybody has a problem.
So if somebody, I'm sorry to interrupt you, if somebody isn't sure if they have a problem, are they still open?
Absolutely. I'll talk to anybody at any time. If we can't help each other, then nobody's going to. The federal government, and I don't care party or big R, little d, whatever, has failed the veteran community for a long time. And it's not just local, recent administration, but it's for years. The VA system's broken. There just has to be a better way to do things, and that's just what I'm trying to do.
I think it sounds like you're finding that in a lot of ways, knowing that these servicemen, knowing that they're not alone
Right.
in their struggles, and that doesn't just apply to veterans. I think in life, when
Right.
you know that you're not going through this alone, you're not the only one who's ever been in this valley or in
Yeah.
this ditch, that there are others who can show you the way out,
Right.
is perhaps even more beneficial than there being an official route
Right.
to take.
There's no one's ever has yet to come up with PTSD cure.
Right.
There's not a switch. There's not a magic pill. Everybody finds their own way through it, and you have to be willing to take somebody else and go, hey, I haven't tried that yet.
And I'm sure when you're talking to other veterans, there's such a brotherhood there.
That's right.
And there is already that established trust. Then if you just go and speak to somebody who doesn't,
Yes.
like me, that's not something I have any experience with.
No, and that's we're more comfortable. It doesn't matter when you serve either, because we're all brotherhood. We might not have chewed on the same dirt, but we all chewed on some dirt.
Right.
So, or sand or whatever it was. We're a brotherhood, and
It's also no man left behind.
Right.
And that doesn't just apply, I know that doesn't apply just to the battlefield, it
Right.
applies to the battlefield at home too.
exactly.
Yeah.
And the good news is this year so far, Franklin County hasn't lost a vet to suicide.
Good.
We were up to 3 a year in Franklin County at one point. So we're down to 0 right now. Year's not over, but let's
Right.
try to keep it that way.
And now from I'm OK Vets, you have started something called the Victory House.
Right.
And what is the mission of the Victory House?
The mission of Victory House is to house homeless veterans in Franklin County. We're not a homeless shelter by any means. We're going to take 2 veterans. They're going to live directly next door to me and my wife. We have a program set up to help them reestablish themselves in the community. We have local business people that are involved, that are willing to hire vets right now. Like they're like telling me, hey, if you got somebody, send them to me.
Do you have anybody in the house yet, or is this something you're just launching?
Yeah, this is something we're just launching. We just got our EIN number. Next step is to get the name certified through the state, through the Treasury Department, and then the next step is the 501c3 status. It costs a lot of money to do all these things. I'm going to owe my tax accountant probably my firstborn.
I was going to say you're probably putting up a lot of this money too.
Yeah, a lot of
yourself.
it comes from me and my wife when we first got started. And mind you, I'm just on disability through the VA and stuff like that. So I don't mind. I took up this cross to bear, and I'm happy to do it. Plus, the community and some of the local businesses have been amazing with their help.
Take us through, because I think that they deserve it. Anyone who helps a worthy cause or any cause involving veterans, who are some of the businesses that have stepped up and said, promised anything?
Dick's Flooring out on Lincoln Way, he gave me a $500 check just to get started. I mean, Art Signs has been amazing. They've worked with me on little tiny printing orders to a couple hundred, and that's probably tiny for them too. But they're offering maybe to hire some of the vets that we have, and there's just a lot. Factory direct furniture, carpet. Yes, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, and Blue Mountain on Wayne Avenue. They're a print shop too. They've helped us out a lot. He's been really great. Man, there's a lot of them. The Olive Garden has basically offered to cater a meal that we're having.
Oh, wow. Very good.
It's great what you are doing.
Yes.
It really is, and I'm so happy to hear that you are getting so much support in the community.
Well, and like my neighbor across the street, he wrote me a $500 check, and it's not just the businesses; it's the local people that have really reached out and said, "Hey, we like what your idea is. We're not." I say we're not a homeless shelter. That's who we're trying to reach, but our goal is for me to mentor 2 people at a time for up to 6 months. They get evaluated by the board every 30 days to make sure they're doing what needs to be done to do the work, because if they don't want to do the work, I can't make them do the work, but we can get somebody in that's willing to do the work.
How are you going to find these people? Like if somebody was listening and thinking, oh my gosh, I wonder if I qualify for this, who would be someone you're looking for?
So anybody that's homeless, that's a veteran, I need proof that you're a veteran. I need the DD-214 or whatever discharge paper you have. You can't be dishonorably discharged. I can't help you out like that. And if you're a vet, you know what a DD-214 is. So, and if you don't have one yet with you, or you lost it because you're homeless or whatever, we can get you one within a week or 2.
Okay.
And the biggest thing is you got to be honest with me. If you're having a drug problem or an alcohol problem, or you're having trouble with PTSD,
You're not saying that that's a disqualifier.
that's
it's
not.
just that
I
you
just need.
to know.
I need to know so I can help you.
Yeah.
Like I can't get you a job, and you have a drug problem, and then you come up hot on your analysis.
Right.
I can't. Like I can't put my supporters that are my local businesses.
Absolutely. You need to know the best track.
Yes.
Like what do I need to put in place to help you to be
right.
successful?
I would say that you don't want these things sneaking up on you.
Right. Yeah.
It's just be upfront.
Yeah.
Be honest from the beginning.
The only thing that would disqualify you is if you don't have a discharge paper. That's it. If you're a vet, we're going to do everything we possibly can to help you. So how we got Victory House started, one of the people that were supporting me with the I'm Okay Vets thing called me up on a Sunday and said, hey, well, I don't take my phone into church. So there was like 6 messages on my phone when I got home. And they're like, hey, I got a homeless vet sleeping out here on the putt-putt course at Cluggy's. Can you help? First thing in my mind is, hey, you're not set up for this. And I said, I'm not really, but yeah, I got you. It can't be that hard to find a homeless vet. She said, well, he has a dog. I'm like, well, he made it a little harder than it has to be, but we'll figure it out. So I spent 2 days running around the county and talking to the VA and everybody I could possibly think of. And they, sorry, lost train of thought.
That's okay.
There was nothing. The closest place that took pets was in the Poconos. That kind of is a long drive away from here.
And for somebody, in that position, giving up their dog is probably
that's family
option.
member. That's like me asking you to give up your husband or your wife
my cat
or your kid. I mean, that's the only person he has to talk to. Why would I do that? So we are doing everything in our power to be pet friendly. There's going to be some rules, of course, but I would sooner be homeless than give up my dogs.
Sure.
But so that's how we got started doing that, and it took off from there.
What happened to that gentleman?
We put him in a hotel room for a week, and he ended up coming hot on a urinalysis and couldn't get the job he had in line.
Okay.
I'm not sure. He kind of dropped contact with me after that happened. So, and I've been told by people that run the homeless shelter in Chambersburg, you're going to get burnt 8 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But
if you can get those
two, even that one, we've helped.
So you are equipped now at the Victory House to take on?
No, we are not. We don't have a house yet.
Okay.
We are in the process of working on that. We have some local people that are willing to do owner financing with us, maybe. We're kind of in the talks. So we are looking to be open by the spring of next year.
Okay.
And I know that sounds like a long way off, but believe me, it's not a long.
It's quick.
I feel you're going to make it happen.
Yeah,
you're going to make it happen.
I have a board of directors that are behind me. I am merely the face. I'm a pretty face on this thing. But that's what I do. I'm the guy that makes contact with the public, and so they can put a face to the name and stuff like that.
Yeah. How can the community help you and support you in this mission?
We have a dinner coming up that I mentioned on November 2nd at 6:30 at the Franklin Fire Hall on Franklin Street and King Street in the Rossman Room. We have tickets available, $25 for a single and $40 for a couple. Like I said, it's Olive Garden, and a lot of the local restaurants have supplied appetizers, and Chick-fil-A supplied appetizers. Falafel House supplied appetizers. A lot of the local ladies in my church and friends of ours have made Affinity Cafes doing.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Yeah, they just opened, and that the woman that runs that place is amazing. She has stepped up in so many ways when I've asked her for help, and she just opened her own restaurant. You know what I mean? It's
you have so much community backing.
yeah.
It's
Well,
awesome.
that's we couldn't be doing this if I didn't have the community backing. We spend money, and it's all going towards getting us set up. We have to have all these things in place to get us set up. As soon as money comes in, it turns around pretty quick. Yeah, it's a big turnaround. So we're doing that, and if anybody's interested in tickets, they can contact me at 814.
You can bring that up here.
Okay, I'm sorry, 767-0092. That's 814-767-0092.
And is that your phone number? There?
Yeah, that's the. I'm a local guy, but this is the business phone number.
Gotcha.
I may just answer it hey or hello because it's not a landline yet. It's just on my cell phone. So we're doing that.
That's the second you said?
The 2nd of November.
And that's an awesome thing that all the community is gathering and rallying around and providing all that. We have a few more minutes, Art, and I wanted to do two things. First and foremost, Katy said this in a roundabout way earlier, but on behalf of us and everyone here,
you're gonna make me cry, Tiny.
thank you for your service. We appreciate that, and
it's my pleasure to serve this country.
The beauty of it is that military personnel do not take their service lightly. What is even more beautiful is when the community doesn't either.
Right.
And I don't think that everyone fights for the right for our rights when they serve, but I don't think that anyone should have the right to take it so lightly.
Well,
but that's one of the rights. I get it. I understand.
Yeah, and I fought to defend. I mean, if I don't agree with burning the flag and stuff, but I also defend your right to do that.
Right.
I don't.
I think every person I've ever talked to who served said the same thing. It's to me, it is one of those. You just don't broach that.
Yeah.
To me, you just don't do that.
And I'm right there with you. I would never be one part of that, but like you have the right to do it, whether it's right or whether I feel it's right or wrong.
Well, when you see the memorial from Iwo Jima, and it's based on a real event that happened. It captures men who were taking bullets and fire raining down, and they're literally using what could have potentially been their last breaths to hoist the American flag, and yet you have people who would otherwise burn it.
Well, if you look at history a little bit, there's only 3 guys that survived that from Iwo Jima. Only 3 guys made it back home, and they were sent home from Iwo Jima.
Right.
So, and one of them was corpsman. I was a medic when I was in the service. So, like, you just sign a contract, and when we sign a contract, we're basically saying we're willing to lose our lives in defense of this country.
Yes.
No military person ever started a war. It's governments arguing with each other, but we're sent to end that argument.
Yeah, and it's, to me, there's no more worthy cause than one that helps military and veterans and children.
Right.
And you are hitting on a big one, and you are doing an amazing job. And when you get the 501c3 status, we would love to have you back.
Absolutely.
That will, I believe, and I hope, open up a lot of doors for your
And a lot of
organization.
local businesses are already saying, "Hey, we want to work with you, but we need that status."
Sure,
I think-
that way they can get the tax write-offs, and absolutely.
So the best way, do you think the community can support you now is on November 2nd? Do you think that's
Right now, yes.
Okay.
And if you come to dinner, everybody gets something. We got a local florist that is supplying flowers, and we're handing them out to everybody.
And is there a silent auction?
Yes, we're doing a silent auction and a couple live auction things. I'm auctioning off a hunt with me and my dog I got a bird dog. Her name's Aspen. She's a little crazy firecracker, but she's a good hunting dog.
Yeah.
So
It would be great if we could find something that we could contribute to.
So with our last couple of seconds here, so again, thank you, Art, and just so everyone knows, just because you don't have the 501c3, you can still participate with your organization. You can still donate in any way that you would see fit. Just know that you won't be able to get the tax forms that would allow you to write off those donations.
Right.
So,
and I have to, my lawyer told me I have to come out and say, we are not a charity
correct.
yet.
Yes.
What you're helping us do is get that status.
Right.
Everything that we bring in is either marketing or getting that status. The marketing part is just getting our name out so we can get more income in, so we can get that status.
So if you can find it in your heart, and you're joining us today on Let's Talk Tri-State, we'll put up every link that we can. This video will live on at 921thegoat.com, and we'll make sure that all the links are where they need to be, so that, and the phone numbers, and please keep in touch with us and let us know what you're doing, how you're doing, how we can help, how the community can help, because even if you can't make it in to do an interview, we can always do a social media post, and we're very willing to do that. And again, thank you for your service. Thank you for being here. Your wife is here.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. This is not.
I hear her over there helping out. You're doing a great job.
Yeah, and I think that too often the spouses are whether it be serving abroad in their home, defending the home front as far as that goes, and then when you come back, dealing with the struggles that may come back with their member of the military, their husband, their wife. So thank you to them, and we just love the military, love the families, and so glad you were here today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Coming up, we're going to take a look at news and sports, and it's all powered by Legends Bar in Chambersburg. You can satisfy your sports fix at Legends Bar in Chambersburg with specials and cold brews there on Hollywell Avenue.
If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode of Let's Talk Tri-State, call 717-597-9200 or email letstalk@921thegoat.com.